We get it, Kim. You want to be Marilyn, but here's why it'll never happen. At the age of 18, she was serving for World War II, making the first ever drones known to the world, made radios, and saved lives of men in war by spraying fire-resistant spray on explosives. She sang to over 100,000 troops after the Korea War, and was waving at troops from a tank. She was one of the first to influence women to work out and use weights when they were required for men. She was the first to expose Hollywood predators, and made an article of how many wanted her, but she rejected every offer and called them wolves and warned others. She was the most beautiful woman to ever exist, that they called her the new kind of sexiness. She was called the woman who invented glamour, which she did. Oscars refused to give her an Oscar after she started her production company, making her the second woman in U.S. history to do so. She is the reason why men and women are wearing jeans for fashion. She would spend hundreds of millions to children and adults in need, from homes to medical care. She was very public with equal rights, and in fact fought for the rights of others whose voices wouldn't be heard, such as Ella Fitzgerald. And she was an ally of the LGBT+ community. She has still remained as the second most photographed person to exist, to the point where a woman named Mara died just to get a picture of her. She owned the name Monroe, and that if any female is named Monroe, the meaning and definition would be Marilyn Monroe. She was declared and voted as the most sexiest woman of the 20th century. She is the reason the Barbie doll has blonde hair, blue eyes, and red lips. She was a very daring and scandalous woman that she was called the girl who rules. She was called the beauty standard, and every magazine would show you how to walk and look like her. She was a survivor of men from the age of 8 being inappropriately abused to an adult being physically and mentally abused. She was called that girl, which meant it girl back then. She was so legendary that the Queen herself was fangirling over Marilyn. She is called the #1 most iconic celebrity and the most famous blonde in history, even though she was a natural brunette. She was called the most exciting body-meaning person. She sprained her ankle for Israel when she started the kick to a worldwide soccer game. She was called the Goddess of Hollywood and Queen of Hollywood. She owned keys to cities and keys to Warner Brothers studio. She was the first Grand Marshal of the Miss America beauty pageants. She created the longest walk in film history, which was 116 feet. She was one of the first to openly speak about mental health awareness, self-love, body positivity, and was the first to openly speak about sexual abuse. She has a star on the Walk of Fame, and has her hand and footprints with her signature at the Grauman's Chinese Theater. She changed fashion so much to where women of America were hating in her for doing so. She rode on a pink elephant at Madison Square Garden to help stop arthritis in children. She made a commercial with Coke, and Coke honors her by saying they don't make them like they used to, but we do. She was awarded a certificate of helping the Jewish community, since she too was a Jew who believed in God. She was the first to wear a potato sack as a dress. She won all types of awards, including 3 Golden Globes. She opened the building to Time Life. She was the first to disguise herself from the public. She was so important that they make postage stamps of her. She is very admired that there are many huge statues of her and street art of her. She was a miscarriage survivor and wanted to have children very badly. She created the most legendary movie scene in film history, which was her subway grate scene, which over 7,000 people came at 1 a.m. to witness, and her Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend song. And her Happy Birthday dress is the most expensive dress in American history. She created a very famous hairstyle called the Undone Marilyn Bob. She was declared the most famous woman of the 20th century, and now you know that she was more than a pretty face.